Hey everybody, Alex Kazor, SteelersDepot.com with a bit of breaking news I wanted to pass along quickly for you guys. The Steelers have had themselves a busy Sunday so far. They're getting the band back together, bringing back Josh Dobbs, putting in a waiver claim on him, the quarterback, and re-signing Sean Davis, the safety, who was released by Washington yesterday. So two moves that were not wholly unexpected, although it's always hard to try to peg any individual move, but two guys that they know well. They have a pretty strong history of bringing back former Steelers, and those were two positions of arguable need or areas that you could add depth to. So Josh Dobbs, Duck Hodges, unfortunately for the Duck fans out there, he has been released. I expect him to probably land on the practice squad as the fourth quarterback, but Dobbs should slide in as the number three. And, it's kind of crazy the way this thing goes. The Steelers traded Josh Dobbs to Jacksonville last year for a fifth round pick. They, in turn, took that fifth rounder from Jacksonville, used that as part of the Minka Fitzpatrick deal, and now they get back Josh Dobbs. So everything kind of comes full circle, and the Steelers, in that sense, certainly come out on top. Still expect Mason Rudolph to be the Steelers' backup quarterback, the number two, but Dobbs is a little more maybe trusted and better in a sense, kind of depth. Although honestly, his playtime is less even than what Mason Rudolph and Duck Hodges have. But I do think you have some more trust in a guy like Josh Dobbs, an opportunity to kind of really round out your quarterback room. And obviously, we saw how battle tested the Steelers' depth chart was at the quarterback position last year. So a chance to add to it with a guy that you know, like Josh Dobbs, a guy that knows your system. Although obviously he'll be coming in after spending time with Jacksonville. He knows your playbook. Things have not changed too much. You have the same coaching staff. So that'll be good continuity for Josh Dobbs. And then there's Sean Davis, who was released by Washington yesterday, was allowed to test for agency in the offseason by the Pittsburgh Steelers, went to Washington, Davis's hometown, but they cut him and he circles back to the Steelers. We do know the corresponding move in signing Sean Davis had is Curtis Riley, the veteran safety who was signed right before training camp, will be cut, although according to ESPN's Brooke Pryor, will be signed to the practice squad. That was a bit of a surprise. I thought maybe it could be a James Pierre that would get cut, maybe a Dangerfield, though he's got some really strong special teams value, and they seem to like third year safety Marcus Allen. So Riley on the practice squad for now. So I assume that Davis will probably be the top backup at both safety spots now that Riley is out of the mix, at least for the moment. And this is a guy that I thought, obviously struggled in Pittsburgh. Injuries played a factor. I do think there's important context to note that Davis being moved around so much early in his career from strong safety to slot corner, back to strong safety to free safety was a bit too much for him. And to some degree, it probably hindered and impacted his development. But as a backup safety, I mean, that's kind of an ideal guy, versatile, smart, a good athlete. The tackling needs to get cleaned up. His missed tackle rate was about 20%. His last 2 years were really 2017, 2018 in Pittsburgh. But as a backup, I think you have a really good option there. Obviously, a guy that can step in right away, knows the playbook. So, got to give the Steelers credit for adding some veteran depth to their safety spot. And to me, the number one issue this team had heading into training camp was safety depth. And although Riley's been released, he is on the practice squad, or at least reportedly going to the practice squad, and can be just one quick call up away. So to add Davis, to have Riley to some extent, and have that NFL experience on your side when you had a group of guys like Dangerfield, like Marcus Allen, like before he was released, Antoine Brooks Jr., a rookie who collectively have not logged a lot of defensive snaps, especially over the last couple of years. I think that's really important to have. So to bring Davis back on the cheap, I assume, at least we don't know contract details at this moment, but I assume that will not be a massive contract getting handed out to Sean Davis. And to have a guy that's versatile, a good athlete, can play special teams, knows your system behind Minka Fitzpatrick and Terrell Edmonds is a pretty solid move in my book. So overall, Steelers have done a good job of being able to add to both safety and quarterback some positions of arguable need in terms of depth and some guys that know the system that can come in right away. You don't have to teach them the playbook, and that's important in the context of the season and everything that's been missed throughout the spring and all things like that. So, like both of those moves, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you liked bringing in Josh Dobbs, or would you have kept Duck Hodges on the 53 over Josh Dobbs? And what do you think about the backup Steelers safety situation? What is your level of confidence in Sean Davis being for the primary, it appears, backup to Minka Fitzpatrick and Terrell Edmonds? Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.